Welcome to Bite Me,
episode 3.
Woo! And our first guest.
So today on our pod, we had the absolute pleasure and joy of interviewing Dr. Owji. So he is doing so many big things for the industry, and we can't wait for you guys to hear about him.
He's amazing, so
He
I
is
know you guys will
amazing.
enjoy. Super beneficial guy to get advice from about, well, really just dental school in general, but also life after dental school and the business side of dentistry. So, and he gives us a Bite Me personal exclusive.
Our first.
So stay tuned.
Yes. Also, download DentMen.
Yes. July 20th.
It's out
coming
right
out
now.
after. It's out right now. Go download it. I'll link it in the description.
Link in the description. Download it or else. So today on our pod, we have a very special guest, Dr. Owji.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thank
He
you.
actually met us through social media.
Yes.
And he is currently practicing in Phoenix. So we wanted to start by asking you about all the way back to the beginning of your dental journey. Go ahead and tell us where you went to school, how was your DAT, all that fun stuff.
You're asking the questions that I don't remember anymore, but okay. Well, thank you so much, guys, for having me. I really appreciate this. I think you guys are doing an amazing thing by bringing awareness around what you guys are doing, what's happening in the current state of dental school. So great job with that. I just love your Bite Me thing. That's pretty cute too. that kind of fits the motto. So yeah, I went to my undergrad. I'm from New York City. Grew up in Brooklyn, so I'm a Brooklyn boy. I did my undergrad at Brooklyn College, which is part of the city university. And then for the DAT, essentially at that time, the DAT was a little bit different than it seems like it is now. That back then it was based on, if you get a 19, 20 on different sections, it seems now they changed the numerics and how it was. The DAT for me was a little bit challenging just because of the fact that things weren't very aligning. I had to take my DAT almost twice to get into dental school. And then when I got into dental school, I went to school in Utah at Roseman University. So and then I was up there essentially for 4 years, a great program. I really enjoyed my time there. And then I've been practicing for close to 4 years now.
Wow. Did you do a residency or did you go right into practice?
No, I went straight to practice because honestly, residency, it's a very overrated program. I don't really like residency. And any friends that I had that went into residency, they kind of regretted it because it takes a year after dental school. They don't really teach you a whole lot of things. So personally, unless you're not going to specialize the residency part, I don't really recommend it to anybody.
How was it transitioning from Brooklyn to Utah?
Well, imagine being a Brooklyn boy, all loud, and then all of a sudden they put you in the Mormon town. How do you think I would feel? Well, yeah, it was not an easy transition, but when I went in there the first day, I had coffee in my hand. Everybody was side eyeing me. I'm like, guys, I'm just drinking coffee. Apparently, Mormons cannot drink coffee.
I forgot they don't drink coffee. I have a question about Roseman itself.
Sure.
So I know that they have transitioned to a 3-year program, but it wasn't like that when you were there, correct?
No.
Were they in the talks of changing it while you were there? Or did you have any experiences with that?
No, so we were, if I'm not mistaken, I was 2 class ahead when they were going to change it. But the talks were already in they were having a conversation around changing it and everything else, because I remember a lot of the staff were nervous about it because there was going to be a lot of collision on the clinic floor because they had to essentially have the 4th-year program, the last year of 4th year, and those 3 years in the clinic at the same time. So I think that was the biggest conversation that was making them nervous because they really had to double their patient count to be able to feed all those students, and how they were going to essentially have both of them on the clinic floor full time at the same time. I remember they were having a lot of that conversation. Yeah.
How was your time in dental school? What was it like for you? Did you study with a group? Tell us the tea.
No, I'm a very, very, when it comes to studying, I was a lonely soldier. Nobody could come around me. I was super focused on what I was doing. Yep. I just, I mean, I would go to like library and stuff with classmates, but I would lock myself in a room and just study because I get distracted super easy. So, I mean, there was times that I was on, I don't remember how many milligram of Adderall that they coexist at that time, but man, at some point we were like, man, call in the IV team because this is running out. But now yeah, I mean, we were like group of team that we knew, like even my classmates, I kind of find the people that I knew that we were going to kind of do well together. But then towards the end, especially when it comes the board time, we had to really lock in. And that's when majority of us just started studying alone because it was really difficult with the board. Because the board, essentially, my class was the first class to take the new board. There was a lot of unknown that we didn't know. So,
As far as your patient pool, did the university find your patients for you, or did you actually have to go out and find them?
no, the university brought us patients. We didn't do anything. We didn't go find patients. Nothing. The only thing that that at that time they switched everything. We got a little bit lucky with the CDCA exam because the hands-on part changed to type it on, but then at the same time the failure rate became higher, so it kind of benefited and backfired. Yeah, I mean they gave you the option to go get patients for the exam, but everybody opted to do it and type it on. But it was very difficult. That was the hardest exam. Like, it was harder than the board exam even. I hated that exam.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're like kind of unfamiliar with how the boards, I guess, are laid out. So I know that traditionally, don't you start taking like a written exam at the end of your third year going into your fourth year? Or what is the layout, I guess, of the boards?
Yeah, so the board, the way the school does it, so the school actually makes you take a practice exams kind of not end of your third year because you kind of want to balance it out where you're taking your board end of third year. So like mid third year, they start like kind of making us take practice exam at the school to engage, to see how you're doing, how your studying is going. The school has to approve you to take the board exam. If they don't approve you, they can't take it essentially. So we had to test, we had to score like 60 and up, or at least 55 and up to be able to take it. And they will make you take it 3 times. And then if you wouldn't score that, then you had to study even more to take it, to get it. So,
That's kind of nice though that they give you like practice like that.
well, the practice exams were essentially, excuse my language, they were bullshit exams.
So you feel like they didn't prepare you for the real thing?
That was just repeated questions. That's all it was.
Stop it. Those high yielders.
But
So
yeah, our
when you were
exam changed.
what you say?
So our board exam changed. So essentially, they didn't know if the old questions were gonna like regenerate into our exams. But for my class, the exam was new because they went from a 2 separate exam and they combined it to one. So we had actually, our class was the first one that took the new board exam.
Gosh, pressure's
Yep.
on for y'all.
Did you
Yep.
feel prepared for your board, or did you feel like you had to get a lot of like outside resources, like a boot camp type of thing essentially to study for your board?
No, the board, I mean, for the board, I feel like we did. It was like I felt prepared, but like when you get into the board, because the problem was that we didn't know what the questions that they were going to focus on. Because before they knew, okay, like their focus is like anatomy and head and neck. But with our exam, actually, majority of their focus was on oral pathology and oral paths and like a lot of different diseases and things like that.
Wow.
So our class was heavy on that. Like they had us heavy on those things. And the questions are not like you have to memorize it. You actually have to diagnose what it was. Like they would give you x-rays, you have to diagnose things. So it was more essentially it is examining your clinical skills, but on a written exam. So
How old were you when you went into dental school?
am you gonna ask me that question? Well, I was 29 when I got into dental school.
That's literally like the average age now. Are you crazy?
I don't know. Maggie is like 10 years old, so I don't know who we're comparing to.
Okay, Maggie's the outlaw. I'm done with you. I have to know. Did you ever fail a class?
Absolutely. Fail everybody.
Really?
And dental school, there comes a time that everybody fails an exam. This is just a given thing. I mean, I don't know how your school does it, but with my school, we had to essentially score 85 and up to pass. That was
Wow.
That was like how it was. Like you would not pass if you got even an 82, you wouldn't pass. My class, we had to get an 85 and up to pass. And then essentially, I mean, everybody at some point they failed the exam. That's just given. You're gonna fail one or two class in dental school. And I mean, I don't think I probably had one or two classmates that passed everything, but
That's
everybody
crazy.
else failed something one way or another.
Like if you were to fail a class, what did your all's remediation process look like? Because we're obviously in the beginning of our journeys, but they've
Mhm,
mentioned remediation and like we
mhm.
don't even know what that would be like.
So our exams would end on, so essentially we would take our, so we were, so a bike school was a little different. So we actually, our classes was blocked. So we would take one class every 2 weeks, then we had an exam, or every 1 week we had an exam. And essentially if you failed on a Thursday, then you had Friday, Saturday, Sunday to study, and Monday you were taking the exam.
What if you failed again?
If you failed again, then you would go into either the summer break or the winter break, and then you would have to take it then.
Wow.
So were you still able to move on with your classmates starting the new block
Yes.
and then just having to do that during the break time? Okay.
Yeah. That would never make you fall behind like that, because everybody has to kind of follow through the program regardless of what it was.
Yeah.
I remember one of my classmates, she felt quiet but behind, and they were gonna kick her out. But then, they gave her an opportunity to kind of catch up, and then she was able to kind of catch up. But ultimately, if you fall too far behind, they will kick you out. That was just what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
because
you
they're
still
like,
close with like your cohort from school?
I do not talk to any of my classmates beside one.
Wait, you're the most
Is he
social
fun?
person ever. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
I haven't, I mean, because like once you get into practice dentistry and you get busy with things, it becomes very draining to try to keep up with everybody. And then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
once
Totally
you're
get it.
busy, or, you have a practice, you're trying to build a company, you're doing this, that, you don't have time for anything else. So,
Did you ever do anything with like digital dentistry in school?
so my school was actually very, very heavy into because they wanted to teach you everything the old school way, because they felt like that was the best way. I mean, we had iteros, we had, other things like that. But as far as our like pros class, everything was just manually by hand. You're setting teeth, you're waxing, you're doing all that by hand. There was nothing digital in our school at that time. So I didn't know anything about digital dentistry till I got out. I mean, I used itero in dental school, but that was about it.
So right now you're practicing in Phoenix. Tell us about what that looks like for you.
Practice in dentistry, it's fun. It has its ups, its down. You're definitely a lot different than dental school. In dental school, you see a couple of patients a day if you're lucky. I see 4 patients, 5 patients in an hour right now. So it's the setup is different, the pace is different. You gotta know how to manage your time. You gotta know how to deal with the day-to-day grind, the stress that comes with the patient management and everything else like that. And on top of that, add 50 hormones of different women that you work with in the practice. You go figure it out.
House count is so bad. Come on, you do TikTok breaks all the time. I don't know what you
Oh
mean.
my gosh, does he have a TikTok?
Oh yeah, he TikToks it. Don't let him fool you. So, Dr. Owji is actually creating an app right now called Dentment, and he is in the works on that. Can you tell us how this idea like came to life? How did you think of this? What do you want to come from it? All of that.
Absolutely. About 3 years ago when I graduated dental school, I was like, man, like it's year 2026. I mean, at that time it was year 2024, but I was like, I just don't understand how, like, there was so many disconnect and there's so many unknown about what was really happening after dental school. There was no transition help. There was nothing that was going on. And then as I start practicing dentistry, I had to learn a lot of things on my own, make mistakes, figure out what works, what doesn't work. And ultimately, I said, hey, I'm going to build this app that essentially very parallel to what Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok, LinkedIn. So we combine all of that and we made essentially Dentment. So the social media side of it is exclusively for dentistry. It is that no one else has access to it. And it covers anywhere from pre-dental student all the way to dentists. We have business courses on our platform, so we can cover a lot of business stuff, because I also found that there's a huge lack of kind of disconnect between the clinical and the business side of dentistry. So we start recording a ton of business courses. We have mentors on our platform that you can book session with them, that essentially their focus is business side of dentistry. So the goal with this platform is to really close those gaps, to bring all these people, doesn't matter where they're at in their journey, and really connect them with the right people, connect them with the right individual, have this huge community, and also ultimately be able to train the dentist on the business side of dentistry. So the transition after dental school is a lot easier.
I love that because there's so many people I think that have talked about once they're out of dental school, they're not sure about like the business side of things. And they're like, I wish I took like a business class and even undergrad or something to figure out how to manage their own practice.
Yeah.
So that is so good.
Yeah.
So how many people are you like collaborating with on your end that have like made the app come to life?
Well, as far as so one of my co-founder, he actually has a company out in Canada called Allo AI. So he's like my head of development and technical side of things. We have a team of about 20 developers between like Pakistan and Ukraine. So we have 10 and 10 where they're working on the app, and we've been working with them for about 2.5 years now. And then so they are the one that really putting this app together. The complexity of it required a big team to do it. So, and unfortunately, because of the cost, because essentially I'm paying for everything. Because of the cost of it, we couldn't hire that size of a team within the US. So we had to outsource it. But they done an amazing job. I mean, if you look at the app, essentially what we did, what we didn't do, it just became, it was a massive amount of work. But, I think it's going to be all worth it at the end of it. This is the first time I'm announcing this anywhere. July 20th.
Wait. This is a first time look?
Well, this is you guys, I wanted to give you guys something, but on July 20th, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so wait, you graduated dental school,
Mm.
immediately started working, and then decide to build this like completely brand new innovative app. Like when do you sleep? When do you eat?
Well, the everybody, it's so funny. I was in a meeting today during when I was seeing patients, and the guy asked me, he's like, "You're building this giant of a company that seems like it's a giant of a company. You do full-time dentistry, you do podcasts, you have all these people. What are you doing to yourself?" I said,
It's incredible.
I sleep about 3 hours a night. So that's kind of
My
the
gosh, 3 hours.
3 4 hours. It's all about the mindset. The mindset of you want to do something that is different. You see what's going on. And to be honest with you, dentistry is fun, but you gotta have a long-term plan and goal on what you want to do. For me, dentistry is fun, but I knew if I wanted to get to 100, 200, $300 million revenue in a business, I knew dentistry was going to take me a long time to get there. And also from a perspective of a business, unfortunately, dentistry sucks up a lot of cash to run. I mean, you guys don't know, but running a dental office, it sucks up about 45 to 55% of your revenue to run a dental office. So if you're making $1 million and you're grinding it every day, your overhead is going to take a lot of that money. So I knew that I have to come up with an alternative. If I wanted to get to the revenue or the things that I want to get to, I knew that I had to build something that is different.
All right, now tell us the exclusive drop. I'm dying to know.
So, when you build the app, especially a technology company, a SaaS company, it took us about after we actually finished building the website and everything within the website, it took us about 6 months to go through the Apple process. And as of yesterday, we got our approval from Apple. Our app is going to be live on the App Store. Thank you. So July 20th, our app actually is going to be in the App Store, and then it will be available for everybody to download. So
That's really soon.
No, seriously.
That's like, isn't that Monday? By the time this comes out, download his app.
So what is that going to look like from like, I guess our perspective? We go on the App Store, we download the app, and what is it going to look like?
So as soon as you download the app, essentially you go simply through a sign up process. You sign up. You put all your information. Our team will actually get an email, like a notification. Somebody have signed up. They will verify your information to make sure you're a dental student, pre-dental student, or a dentist. That will take us about 24 to 48 hours. Once your account is approved, then you can access the platform.
And this is going to give us access to mentors and also like information in the field. Are we able to do, like you said, like live sessions too with some of the mentors in there?
Yep, you can essentially book a one-on-one session with the mentors. There's a social media to it. So if you look at essentially Instagram, the layout of the platform is just like the Instagram. You'll be able to essentially, but it's exclusively for dentistry. There's no public access to it. Yeah.
Did this just come to you in a dream one night? Like, how does one think of that?
You gotta sit down and figure out what it is and put the puzzle together and figure it out. And that's what it was.
I mean, I think it's so important too because social media is like so big right now with everything, even with
100%.
like chat, AI, like it's a part of literally everybody's every second of every day. So it's
Mhm.
like to bridge dentistry with a tool that we'll actually use in real life. I think that's so important.
Yeah. And then I also really like how you guys have like the security process where it is only pre-dental, dental
That
students,
is nice.
dentists
Yeah.
on there. So it's not filled with just like a bunch of BS on there. I think
No.
that's
Yeah.
really cool too.
Every single person that have access that is a user on our platform, they will actually get verified by us. And then if anybody gets reported to our security and compliance team, they essentially get banned out of the platform. So we have a very,
Watch
very
out.
Are you gonna ban me?
Oh, Marley.
I'm gonna get banned.
Marley is the one that will never get access in the first place.
So what is your hopes and your goals for Monday? What are you like? Do you have like a goal in mind? Do you want like certain amount of people to be signed up in like a year, a month, a week? Like what's your goals?
Yeah, so we're actually going to New York City, my hometown, next Thursday, and then we are going
So
to
jealous.
we are hosting essentially it's like a private event. I mean, it's from 10 to 2, it's an open event for like industry partners. We have some keynote speakers, and then from like 3 to 7, we're doing a private dinner, and that dinner is going to be for the school admissions, the school dean, and some dental students from the New York tri-state area. So from
That's
New
so
Jersey,
awesome.
New York, and then our goal for the next 90 days, we're aiming to be about 1,000 users, and then hopefully
Fabulous.
and then by end of next year, with our partnerships and everything, we're thinking anywhere between 20 to like 50,000 users on the platform. So.
That's wow. Do you think that you're gonna like collaborate with any other like platforms? Like I saw that you were doing something with Bootcamp, like a 10% off code. So who else are you thinking of collabing with besides Bite Me?
These are more like, I mean, we're not really, as far as we're not really partnering with them. These are more of like, hey, like this is what we're doing, and we just want to be able to give the value to like the pre-dental student, dental student. We're talking about, discount, like finding discounts for even dental student when they want to take their board exam. So we're in a lot of conversations like that. So these are more things like that. And also we just on our platform, I mean, we went as far as training AI. So that way, when you graduate dental school and you want somebody to review your contract, our AI will actually review your dental contract for you.
That's
actually
so nice.
That's
That's so
awesome.
Yeah.
I've seen so many videos of people talking about how important it is to like really pay attention to contracts because I know there's like a lot of different terminology, a lot of
Yep.
different like payout levels and
Yep.
pay scales and things like that.
Yep.
Like what is some of the most exciting, if not something you're most excited about for your platform? Like what's something you think is going to be the most beneficial, I guess?
Well, the most beneficial side of it, I believe the community part of it is going to be super important because when you log into our platform, you're going to know the people that are here, they are within the industry. You're connecting with the right individual. So you don't have that kind of your hands are not shaking. Am I talking to a person that is a dentist? Am I talking to somebody that is a dental student? So the one part of it is just having a peace of mind. For the with end users. And then the second thing is just, you're coming out. If you're a dental student and you log into our platform, even before you graduate, we have so much business courses on that you can readily learn what's the business side of dentistry look like. So by the time you graduate, you kind of have an idea what's going on outside of that. And with our mentors, you can connect with them directly on our platform, and you can ask them questions. You can book a session with them and ask them questions. Hey, what do I need to do? What do I need to pay attention to? And then, like I said, as for I went as far as building AI to review contracts, and the contracts that we train it on is essentially from Aspen, Heartland, Pacific Dental, all the big companies plus more. So that way, the feedback that you're getting is actually a very valuable information that you're getting back. So you're not essentially eyes closed and not knowing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's such a good idea, truly, because there's so many people that go into these contracts blind and then it's like completely different than what they expect. And just being like a new grad as well, I feel like it's easy to fall into certain traps. And so being able to kind of decipher what works for you, I think would be so helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't even know that was going to be part of this app. I'm even more excited now for
you said marketing is goodness.
gatekeeping that. So right.
Well, do you have any advice, or I guess what's one piece of advice you have for us and then any of our fellow D1s that's listening for our future journeys, or any insight that you might have for us as dental students?
Yeah, absolutely. Dental school is a phase. Essentially, you go through phases. You're a D1, you kind of want to focus on really understanding the importance of your hand skill, focusing on having as much experience as you can get out. Like when I was in dental school, I was telling this to another pre-dental student too. I didn't care if I didn't have patient in the clinic. I went after hours. I was in the sim clinic drilling on the teeth. Like I think I practiced 1,000+ plastic teeth before I graduated dental school.
Wow.
So when I graduated dental school, I could do a crown prep in 10 minutes because I was because that's what you have to do. You have to utilize what you have in dental school and don't focus so much. Well, I don't have a patient, but on a Monday afternoon at 5 p.m., I was done. I was in sim clinic prepping. I was in sim clinic doing restorations, doing crown preps, practicing suture placement and things like that. So you want to get that wrap in, doesn't matter where you're at. You want to definitely utilize that and get as much, training as you possibly can. Doesn't matter if it's in a sim clinic or if it's on the actual clinic floor, because the anatomy of the teeth is the same. Doesn't matter what it is. So you just gotta grind it out and really practice. Practice. That's all I can tell you. It's so important. So important. Because like I said, I have a friend, Dr. Hughes, and we were just talking about this. He has a DSO of 13 practices. He said, man, like these kids are graduating dental school. They come to me. It takes them 3 hours to prep a crown. So like that's not, from a business standpoint, that's not very beneficial for you as a recent grad, because if it takes you 2 hours to 3 hours prep one crown, it's not gonna be very beneficial to you when it comes to money and finances, and you want to make money. So you got to get that wrap in. So when you graduate, you can just speed and get going. Because this side after dental school is not easy. So
would you ever consider owning multiple practices, or are you focusing on one practice?
I did my undergrad. People don't know this, but I did my undergrad in business. I am focusing on whatever gives me the most amount of money. If that's multiple practices.
You gotta pay those loans back.
Listen, if everybody tells you that they're getting to dentistry because they love helping people, that's the biggest bullshit I heard. They're getting to dentistry because they want to make money.
We have talked about how everybody says that. I think we talked about that our first episode. Which we do want to help people, and we're in a very needed area for healthcare specialists, but people that say that that's all it is just lying to themselves.
No, it's so funny. When I was at Roseman, you need to turn D3 or D4. They would make us sit on this interview. So you interview with the faculty and then, with two students. And every time I remember, we would put a bet. We were like, man, I bet the next one is gonna say they want to help people. As soon as we asked that question,
Go to. No, it really is. We were actually talking about that just so recently too.
especially like in people writing their personal statement.
Yes.
but
Listen,
no, you
want to
gotta.
help, but like,
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, what it comes down to is absolutely. I think we discussed this before. It's like you got to have a heart to want to help people. Absolutely. But at the same time, with the current climate that we're in, with inflation, with the cost of labor, with cost of real estate and everything else like that. Again, these are the things dental school doesn't teach. Yeah. So these are the hardest part of this whole thing because you really have to understand that, the day-to-day operation of dentistry, it's very expensive, So you have to focus on what's going to give you the most amount of return on the investment. So for me, that's what my focus is on. That's why I wanted to build a SaaS company to really focus on that, to figure out, hey, how can I get to certain revenue or certain things? Because, my parents tell me I want to live like a king, but I don't have the king money yet. So
what kind of car do you drive? No, I'm just kidding.
Wally,
that.
I don't know, man. After our first podcast, she texted me. She's like, "What car do you drive?" I'm like, "Is that even?"
You texted him that? Absolutely.
I'm like, maybe you take me out for dinner first before you ask me that.
We got big goals over here on Baby. So, what is one dental procedure that you're like, you love, confident in, you'll do it all day? And what is one that you're like, I'm going to refer that? Or like, hey, anybody else want to take that?
Honestly, for a procedure for me to do that, I'm like super confident. I'm like, I'm gonna do this no matter what. I love doing extractions, so I'm actually like really, I have become super confident in my ability to be like, okay, I can extract this teeth, no problem. Maybe one or two cases that I'm gets a little bit tricky, but again. It's all about when I was in dental school, the one thing that, my professor really advised me on, he said, Milad, when you get out, you want to do everything. And I realized early on that I cannot do everything. And that you have to understand as a general dentist, you want to do everything, but at the same time, you don't want to do everything. Because, for example, if I'm going into extraction of a wisdom teeth and I'm like, it is 0.5 millimeter to the IA nerve, I'm not doing that. I'm going to refer that out no matter how easy it looks on the x-ray because I have learned that those things are not easy to take out when they get
Nope.
and then when they get complicated, they get very, very complicated. So extraction wise, I'm good. I can do those. As far as the things that I don't do, if it's even nearly impacted wisdom teeth, I don't touch them. I refer those out. The complexity is too much. Again, you have to look at everything that you want to do as a business. You have to look at how much time is this going to take me? How much am I going to get paid? And if it's not worth it, I'm not doing it. If it's going to take me an hour to take out 4 wisdom teeth and I'm making $500 and I can do 5 crown preps in an hour and I'm going to make $5,000, that's what I'm going to do. So it's all about that. You have to look at from the business perspective and the time that you're going to spend. Now, if you can pop 4 teeth out in 5 minutes, that's a different story.
I think you can. I'm confident in you.
Question. I have kind of a unique question since you started practicing. Were you surprised once you started practicing and especially like working for yourself how hard insurance payouts are? And are you like in the know with how people are fighting for the insurance payouts to be updated now since they haven't been updated since like I think the 70s or something?
So we have, I believe we have had a lot of kind of interviewers on my podcast about insurance companies in particular. Dental insurance companies are a scam. I'll just put it bluntly to you. They are not there to help patients. They're not there to provide the best care to the patient. They're just simply there to take the money from the patient and that's it. They deny anything and everything that they can possibly do. If you do a crown and they're like, well, you could have do a stainless steel crown. And you're like, why am I doing a stainless steel crown on a 60-year-old patient that has a metal in it and it has mercury? Why do I have to downcoat it? Because they don't want to pay for the porcelain. And also the limitation to the insurance companies, they give them a yearly of 1,000 to 1,500 and then you're done essentially. So the dental insurances is just the uphill battle with them. I don't really, for the office I'm in, we outsource our entire process. We don't deal with them. If there's a denial, we let them deal with it, because if you try to keep that in-house, it becomes way too time consuming for your staff. So we outsource it. But dental insurance, I tell this to my patients all the time. I'm like, if you're hoping that your dental insurance is going to cover something, good luck. Let me know how it goes. I'm always here. I'm not going anywhere. So, and then
Yeah.
they come back and they say, well, yeah, you were right. And then this year, sadly, majority of the insurance company, I mean, United Healthcare is one of them that has actually cut down on paying out. They went down. They're like, if you want, we're only paying 50%. You got to pay 50%. So it's just, they're not really doing anything good for the patients at all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still do continuing ed, like CE courses and stuff like that? Like continuing just to do?
I do not believe in any of the continuing educations that is out there. I went to one continuing education. I paid $2,000. The second day I went up to the guy. I said, man, thank you for wasting my time. I walked right out. So, and then I got back home. I called my American Express and disputed the damn $2,000. And that's it.
Is that a platinum or a gold?
It's actually gold. Nah, but
New York coming out of you, just telling him like, nah, this is worth it.
no, but the thing with CE courses, you really have to find the right CE course to get into, because there is so many CE courses out here that you can take. And if you don't know what those CE courses are, what's the value it's going to bring to your practice. I had a doctor I talked to, he spent $300,000 in CE courses throughout his career.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And I asked him, I said, what is the point? What was your return on your investment when you did that? He's like, honestly, doc, like, I don't know. So it's like, if you're just taking course just to take it, where I learn my stuff? I learn my CE courses on youtube.com. I love it. It's free 99. I don't pay nobody.
So what's that procedure you stray away from?
No, listen, for example, if you're going to go to an office, it also depends on your patient, because if you're going into an office that you have an older patient population, there's no reason for you to go in and do a cosmetic dentistry. Like, the patient is 90 years old. They're not going to do cosmetic dentistry, right? If you're going into a population patient is all Medicaid, and you go and take an implant course, but they can't even afford the filling, you're wasting money. So you have to engage with the patients that you work on. And if you're saying, okay, like, I'm going to stay here long term, this is my own office, then at that point, it makes sense to spend that money. But if you're just going to do it just to do it, and then you're not practicing it, then what's the point? You just spend the money on that course. Since graduating dental school, I did not take any CE courses, because I'm like, there's nothing that I cannot do right now. And I'm not going to do anything else outside of what I'm doing, because I don't see, like, if I'm going to sit down again, like, if you're going to go do a root canal on a patient, on a molar endo, and the failure rate is already at 40% because you did it as a general dentist, I'm not doing that. Doesn't matter how good I am. I'm referring that to an endodontist. I mean, I had a patient that came to my office yesterday. The endodontist that I refer my patient is one of the best in town. And it took him 2 hours to do a molar root canal. How long is going to take me? I'll probably have to have my bed, pillow, and my dinner over there to do that molar. So you have to pick and choose what you want to do ultimately.
Yeah.
Have you found your scope? Do you feel like you found like what you want to do and what you're like
your niche?
Yeah, your niche, what you like to do in the office?
I mean, honestly, for me, I love bread and butter dentistry. I don't see myself doing anything outside of that. I'm gonna probably, take an implant course by end of this year if all my plans fall into place. But that's about all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do anything else. And if I go to an area and I buy a practice that the patient wants cosmetic dentistry, then I may pursue that. Other than that, and you got to look at the climate of the market. If a patient is struggling to put a gas in their car, I can't expect them to pay me $2,500 or $2,000 to do a veneer. So,
I agree with that.
you have to kind of engage with where things are at. And like I said, everything from a business standpoint is like return on the money that you're investing. And if you're investing money on things that is not going to give you a return, there's no point to it. So,
It's very true.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We are so lucky to have had you as a guest on our pod today.
Yes,
Absolutely.
thank you for coming.
And thank you for dropping your amazing news. Monday is the day.
I can't wait to download it. I hope that we're some of your first consumers. I actually hope that we get approved.
I was gonna say, yeah, I hope we get accepted into it.
If I get banned, I'm texting you. No, but seriously, thank you for coming and being a part of
Absolutely.
our newer and growing pod. We appreciate it. You have been so helpful and you always have the best advice. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely,
Yes,
guys.
thank you.
Absolutely. Good luck with everything. I know you guys gonna do amazing things. You guys are, like I said, you guys are already out about kind of marketing yourself, branding yourself around everything. So
Wow.
I think you guys gonna do amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thanks for watching Bite Me!